So guys, what if it isn't the F-2, the Mitsubishi F-2 that is coming as the confirmed Japanese jet that Gaijin released on the community update number 6? What if it's something else? And yeah, a lot of people would be mad. Some people are even calling the F-2 the new Lightning because it took so much time to get the Lightning to the game, right? So what are the other options that could come? Because there aren't that many, and I will kind of have a wrap-up of 4 examples, and basically these 4 examples will probably confirm why the F-2 makes the most sense, and it is the aircraft that you should expect, even if you doubt Gaijin a little bit. So we start off with the last F-15 that can come to the Japanese. Of course, there are multiple little variants here and there with different tiny little spark of a, or something in the engine that it's different, new weapons, stuff like that can always be added. But to be honest, it is the aircraft that we already have, right? So unless they're gonna add another version that it's the exact same as the F-15JM that we have with better missiles and stuff, which I doubt that they will for now, the only version that it's out there that can be added for the F-15, it is the Japanese Super Interceptor, which is something that I don't think is even in service right now. So that's why it's so unlikely that we will see anything else other than the F-2. Each of these examples, they're gonna be kind of hard to comprehend that Gaijin would consider them. So the Japanese Super Interceptor, already talked about this. It would be the last F-15J, it would be the ultimate F-15J. It would use an ISN radar, all the most modern avionics and systems inside the aircraft, the most modern missiles, AM-5s and whatnot. So yeah, I really doubt that we will see that thing, but it is an option. It is an option. Maybe they would add the JSI as the same as the JM for now with just the ISN, for example, since everybody's receiving an ISN radar almost in the future, right? So add this with the ISN and then later the other upgrades with weapons. Very unlikely, right? But it is an option. It is an option. Very unlikely. I doubt that we will see that, but it is an option. The other options are even more unlikely. What about an F-86D? Yes, that aircraft was actually used by the Japanese. What is the problem with that aircraft? Well, it is the same as the K. It is the exact same aircraft. The main problem with it is that it doesn't have guns. No, it doesn't have guns. How an aircraft like that doesn't have guns? Well, it actually uses Mighty Mouse's rockets, FFAR, right? Rockets, basically, right? So it would be the exact same as the F-86K that we already have in other tech trees, but with 24, yeah, just 24 Mighty Mouse rockets, which is, yeah, probably not gonna be added, maybe as a premium one day, maybe if they add a time fused, or probably it needs to be like a proximity fuse rocket, maybe to work properly. It would be similar to the F-89, like not really worth it, right? But yeah, it could be something. I really doubt that we will see it just because it is really hard to kill anything with just 24 of these, but it is an option. Again, very unlikely, but it is an option. The third example is somewhat more realistic, but I still believe that it would be hard to actually consider this aircraft. The Kavazaki T4. This is a subsonic jet trainer, okay? Very much similar to the Alpha Jet, for example. The problem with this aircraft is that in full service, it never really used any offensive weaponry, just training stuff. But of course, it was tested and approved to a certain extent that it can actually take air-to-air missiles, bombs, gun pods, stuff like that. It's just that normally they never use them. I don't think they ever did in service. Just that most sources claim that they tested it during the, getting to service procedures of the aircraft, but they never really used this aircraft for a combat situation, right? But it could take air-to-air missiles, bombs, and gun pods. So it can be somewhat of a lower tier jet there that they can add, just like the Alpha jet is for the Germans and French and stuff, right? It has 5 hard points, 4 of them under the wing and 1 under the fuselage. He can use gun pods and bombs, so it could be very similar to the Alpha jet. In the performance, of course, as I said, it's a trainer, 50 meters per second of climb, 1038 max speed, kilometers per hour, so it has a very low stall speed of 167, which is crazy. And it is a very light aircraft, 3,700 kilograms with around 32 kilonewtons of power total, right? So it is a pretty powerful, aircraft. It's very similar to the Alpha jets and around those BRs, okay? In terms of performance, it will probably feel like one of those aircraft. And the last aircraft that I wanted to talk about, because the other ones, I mean, we can't have any, there are other aircraft out there, but it's just not possible. It is the Fuji, I don't know how you guys pronounce that, T1, which is basically an earlier trainer aircraft, for the Japanese. So it is an aircraft that, on the same terms of the T4, it is an aircraft that it's more made to do training stuff, but it does have the ability to carry some weaponries. So it can carry 150 cal in the nose, which is, just one M2 apparently. So it's normal Browning machine gun, right? And then it has 2 hard points. So it can carry 2 A9s, 2 750-pound bombs, and drop tanks and stuff like that. So it can be a very early jet, like 7-point-something jet. The maximum speed is actually pretty good for that type of BR, 925 kilometers per hour, hit rate of climb of 33. So the performance is there for it to be added. The problem with it, the weapon systems, it wouldn't have a lot of weapons. I mean, 150 cal is problematic. I couldn't confirm if they ever used any type of gun pod on this thing. But if they did, it would be a good idea to add if this aircraft is added. And yeah, it looks like a stretched out Sabre pretty much, right? Which is a very cool looking aircraft actually. So yeah, it doesn't have a lot of power. I mean, 18 kilonewtons, one engine. And it weighs, but it's like 2 tons, 2.4 tons. So it's very, very nimble and light. But of course, not a lot of max speed and stuff like that. But yeah, very low weapons count, basically, right? And it would be something to be, a 7.0 or 6.7, 7.0, 7.3 max BR, something along those lines, right? It is a jet. It could be added if they really want to. But again, guys, let's be honest. I talked about 4 aircraft and I dug down a lot to find these aircraft, and you cannot find too many other versions here. Of course, T-33s could be added. Vampire T-55 was once tested by the Japanese, right? Reconnaissance versions of the F-4 EJ. A double-seater version of the F-104, stuff like that can be added. But to be honest, these are the versions that I think are the most likely ones, and even then it's not that likely that we will see anything like that. So if it's a jet that is coming, yeah, the F-2 is the most likely one, but let's wait and see. Let me know in the comments if there is any Japanese aircraft that you would like to see instead of the F-2. I doubt that you can find any. And yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys, see you.